This week on TGC News, Zenith drops dead weight, new Wilson combat long guns, and a firearm from Nighthawk. Daniel Defense makes some of the highest quality semi-automatic rifles on the planet. Whether it's the V7, the ISR, or even the DD5 308, you can't go wrong. And from now until October 15th, you'll get a free Yeti Hopper Flip 8 cooler worth $200 with the purchase of any Daniel Defense firearm. To learn more, check out the link in the video description below. Welcome back to another episode of TGC News, the only gun news show that covers things you actually care about. My name is Jon Patton. Before we get into today's show, I want to share another set of awesome giveaways with you guys. This time we're working with our friends at Neomag. You've seen the Not a Review we did on them. Well, now you can win a Neomag and a sweet Neomag t-shirt by going to the link in the video description. That's all you got to do. There will be one winner each week for the next 4 weeks, so check it out. One more thing, this week's show was actually recorded on Thursday of last week because as you're watching this, I am just getting back from the annual YouTuber shoot in Georgia put on by the IV8888 team. So if I'm missing anything that got released between now and then, you know why. Now, the news. First up, you might be familiar with Zenith Firearms as they kind of exploded onto the scene with their HK look-alike guns a couple years back. They were quick to expand on importations with the addition of some sub-brands like TSAS, Gearsan, and Tedna, all of which were guns that were super affordable but not exactly what I would call high-end. Either way, the CEO of Zenith recently stated that they will kind of be refocusing their efforts and concentrating on only the roller delayed blowback guns, aka the stuff that got them where they are. I totally understand this move. The guys working here on the US side of things were a small team, and trying to manage all that and market it and keep up with the paperwork, etc., 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 it had to be a massive amount of stuff to manage. Realigning the focus will hopefully allow them to step into their stride with a little more strength and hopefully keep the guns coming. For reference in this case, the HK SP5K, which is the latest US legal MP5 sibling from HK, has an MSRP of $26.99, whereas the Zenith Z5 series, which are just as good as the HK, have MSRPs about $700 to $950 less. And on top of that, Zenith offers way more configurations on that core gun. Now, if you're looking to snag up some of the guns that Zenith is ditching, they apparently sold all of the remaining inventory to CDNN, and there's some solid deals to be had. I know the Zenith roller lock guns are not cheap in comparison to things like AR-style pistol caliber carbines and AR-15s and the like, but I still want to know how many of you are into that sort of thing. Sound off in the comment if you think focusing on a single type of gun is a good thing or a bad thing, or if you even like roller lock guns. Let me know in the comments. And in more guns we can't afford news, Wilson Combat has just announced the addition of 3 new rifles aimed at the hunter with cash to burn. Now, they're more known for their custom 1911s, but they do know how to put together a really nice long gun as well. First in the batch of new AR-10s is the Ultralight Hunter. These can be had in 308, 338 Federal, or 358 Winchester. They all come with a 16-inch non-fluted barrel, have a 12.6-inch M-LOK rail, a sweet carbon fiber buttstock, a Wilson Combat 2-stage trigger, among some other trick parts like a flat wound buffer spring. They also come standard with an intermediate length gas system and utilize an adjustable gas block, certainly to combat the varying loads across brands of ammo and cartridges that weren't originally designed for gas guns. The next gun in the line is the Ultimate Hunter, which features either an 18, 20, or 22-inch barrel, depending on whether you get the previously mentioned cartridges or the additional 6.5 Creedmoor offering. It's very similar to the Ultralight, but offers a slightly longer gas system and slightly longer barrels. And rounding out the line is the Tactical Hunter. There are a lot more options with this one. They're available in 7mm Odd 8, 308, 338 Federal, 6.5 Creedmoor, and 260 Remington. You can get it with either 18 or 20-inch fluted and non-fluted barrels, again, depending on cartridge, and instead of that carbon fiber stock, it utilizes an adjustable buttstock. All 3 of these rifles will come standard with the paint job as you see them pictured. Now, here's the damage. The ultralight has a base price of $32.95, the ultimate $33.45, and the tactical rounds things out with $31.45 for the non-fluted and $50 more for the fluted version. Ouch! Now, of course, you could build your own AR-10 and get something with similar parts, and you may even save a couple bucks. But then again, you would not be able to rely on the build quality of Wilson Combat if you did that. And AR-10 style rifles are a slightly different beast than AR-15s, so definitely be cautious if that's the route you end up going. And because I didn't hurt your wallet enough this week, here's another one that will set you back from a different custom 1911 builder. Nighthawk Custom has introduced the Tomahawk, which is their version of the Shockwave / TAC-14 / it's not a shotgun, but it's chambered in 12 gauge craze that's been happening these days. Long story short, they're rocking a Hogue overmolded pistol grip and forend, a Vangcomp ported 16-inch barrel with back boring, which is designed to give better and more consistent patterning downrange. It has a 4-round side saddle, a front bead sight, and an enlarged safety button. And I also believe that Nighthawk is utilizing the 870 receiver and action from Remington and essentially like tuning up like they normally do. We've talked about the Shockwave and the TAC-14 a little bit here on the show, but for those that missed it, essentially, because the gun is under a certain overall length and it was never technically a shotgun according to gun regulations, it's considered a firearm. That's it. It's not a shotgun, it's a firearm. That's also the same reason it does not fall into the purview of the NFA. On Nighthawk's website, there is a section that says they have a letter from the ATF, but it's not actually posted there. Either way, for a whopping $1,395, it better be awesome. Man, this week's show is chock full of expensive guns. Rand CLP offers an entire lineup of non-toxic cleaners and lubes for the discerning shooter. You can use their bore and bolt to clean up carbon, fouling, or rust, and then follow it up with their CLP, or for hot and heavy applications, the hog grease, for before, during, and after the range. Find out what the nano-infused bio-friendly lineup from Rand CLP is all about over at randclp.com. Now, a couple updates for you guys regarding us here at TGC. First things first, I know a lot of you were very upset by what the NRA had to say regarding bump stocks. We now have a way for you to contact them very easily on the TGC website. Just go to theguncollective.com/NRA and you can contact anyone on the current NRA board of directors. That being said, you need to be a member of the organization or you don't get a say in what they do. Another thing, I had been asked by a bunch of people over time to create a Patreon page for TGC, and I was a bit reluctant to do that. We have some great industry partners, and I don't want to detract from what we do with them. So this will be the only time that I mention it. If you want to support TGC directly on Patreon, follow the link in the description below to do that. Seriously, we do appreciate all of you guys just watching the show. That's big enough. So anything you do beyond that for us is incredible. And that is it for this week's show, guys. You know what to do if you enjoyed this episode. Hit that like button and share it with your friends. That's a massive help. If you didn't like it, let me know why down in the comment section below. And if you haven't yet, please get subscribed. You won't want to miss a single week of the show. And as always, thank you all for watching. We'll see you soon. The shirts worn in today's episode of TGC News were provided by Patriot Patch Company. Click the link in the description to learn more.